Dearest mother,
I don't
things have not changed.
I don't even know what the show anymore. I just
Let's talk about these two episodes. Episode 19, Moto-Mechazawa. Sadaharu is the fastest man on a motorcycle. Nothing's going to matter in these descriptions. No one has ever caught up to him. However, Kamiyama unknowingly steps up to challenge and become that man. He rides Moto-Mechazawa and not only catches up to Sadaharu, but passes him. But when things go overboard and the police show up, will Kamiyama be able to get away, or will he be thrown in jail for not having a motorcycle license?
Isn't this the second time this has happened?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, second time. Second time. Same as the first.
They even brought up the weird part is like they have stuff happen and you think it's no, that's just how the character is assuming that it happens. And then I'm like, we're skipping a bit ahead, but I have to say this before I'll forget. They're like, yeah, I was too much of a badass. And I fired too many missiles. I'm like, what is this stupid fucking? Why is he even bringing it up? And I'm like, no, that happened in that episode.
Yeah. No, this episode was weird. It's like it's starting to feel like they are like throwing ideas at the wall, and then are just like whatever. What even the ones that don't stick. Just pick them up and we'll turn it into a skit for an episode.
And here's the worst part: it still works. Like, like I laughed a lot watching this episode, but I also acknowledge towards like the last like 2-3 minutes, it just becomes like a clip show montage, and I just figured, oh, they stopped caring long ago.
I thought at first it was going to be like a parody of Initial D or something like that, just with that treacherous like road and what have you. But no, it's just there's Sadaharu, and then there's Moto-Mechazawa and Kamiyama riding backwards.
Making
no protection,
of course.
Noises.
Yeah, and then everyone's like, "Hey, did you hear Sadaharu is retired? What happened?" And then it cuts to, I guess, athletics day or whatever. And then it's just like Maeda's back as the focus, and he's like, all right, I can run fast, but I haven't been able to show off at Cromartie High ever since I got here, but now's my chance. Only problem. And then there's Moto-Mechazawa competing. It turned into Air Bud. There is no rule that says that a mechanical robot turned motorcycle cannot ride and compete in sports.
I'm like, they have to. I'm trying to think of the thought process of how they come up with these ideas, and it has to be all right. What if we did kind of Initial D? We made it try to be as cool as Akira, and then I don't know what the rest of the episode is. Well, what if we put the motorcycle in track and field? Okay, but he can only do one event. But what if we made him do more than one, though?
I think that part is my favorite when he's doing the long jump. It's like there's no way he can do this, and then he starts.
Everyone has their weakness. Look, he can fly.
And he's gone.
Gosh.
And then it turns into another Kamen Rider Moto-Mechazawa kind of parody where they saved the day, and then the police show up, and he's just like, "Yeah, all those missiles I shot last time, but now I don't have any dangerous equipment. I got a safety helmet on, and I'm driving under the speed limit, and the air pressure's just perfect. Let's see him do it now." And then insert cheap AMV because they ran out of money for this episode. And then, I can't believe they locked me up because I didn't have a motorcycle license.
A moron.
Oh Lord. And what happens next? Oh yeah, so we think we're going to do another baseball gag, and then all these gang member motorheads come in, and they're like, "Oh man, well now what? We can't play baseball with these guys around." Well, don't worry, we'll just get Mechazawa because he can fly. Great, that's a good idea. And then he gets stolen.
And then they're like, "Does this seem like it's going to be a two-parter?" No, because the whole next episode acts like this one didn't happen, and they're trying to figure out Mechazawa's OS system.
This is what happens when we keep saying, I wonder what this show would be like with a plot. And then the show's just like...
And the plot actively goes, no! Don't get one!
They get swatted with the writers get swatted with a newspaper every time. They're like, no. So... weird episode, kind of feels shambled together in a lot of ways. Still funny, but episode 20, which also feels shambled and put together, just like the whole show. Lost Relation. When Mechazawa loses his operating system, Kamiyama and the others must decide whether to delete his memory or keep it intact. Meanwhile, Hokuto's butler closely resembles Hayashida, only an older version. He asks Hayashida if they're related, but both of them say they're not. Again, plot ideas, interesting concepts. No.
The fuck out of here.
Really. Oh, gosh. Yeah, then let's see. Let me get my notes up for this. Hakuto has a nightmare. Because he's just like...
2 nightmares.
Just meat. The butler comes in, and it's like, I know you've been going through some various problems. And then the subtitles below, for I think one of the few times we've seen in this show, say various problems equals go read the manga.
So weird.
Okay.
So weird.
This comes off like it's a joke at the expense of the production, because I've seen this before where some OVAs will stop halfway, like through something, and then just be like, "Hey, we got shortchanged," and that's what happened. That's what happened. That's why this scene doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I think it was
like the worst part is, with the way this show is made, we don't know if they actually don't have money, or they're just making a joke that they don't have money, and then they don't have to make the rest of that part.
Because I remember in like an OVA, I think it's called like Dragon Half or something, and they're having like this, and it's like a 2-episode OVA, and in this tournament arc thing that's doesn't make a lot of sense. One character's like, "I finally see you. Like, we're here, we're gonna fight," and the main character's like, "I don't know who you are." It's like, "Yeah, you do. We met early in the episode. Hold on." And it pulls out like a VHS tape, and they watch it, and they're like, "Oh my god, they cut out the part that had me in it."
So it turns into Spaceballs.
Oh gosh. So then, you find out that Hakuto's butler looks like Hayashida's, I guess, father or grandfather.
Grandfather.
Well, they have them both have the dumb cat lips. Or whatever they want to call it.
And then Hayashida, they go to school. Hakuto's like, "Hey, do you have a grandfather?" And
Stupid question, by the way. Everyone does.
And then Hayashida's like, "Yeah, but I haven't seen him in forever. My mom says he's trying to start a bunch of small businesses that failed, and now he's trying to start an all-organic coffee bar. So he's flown to Brazil or whatever." And then they had the big meetup back at the mansion, and it's like, Are you? And then, no, they're not related at all.
No.
Hakuto's on the toilet, okay, with a flush, even though, whatever there. So we return back to school. So they go to the library to see Mechazawa, not a motorcycle anymore. So they cut out whatever arc that happened. And they're just like, "Hey, Mechazawa, what's up?" And Mechazawa's like, oh, I'm in love, but I can't possibly be in love because of the type of person I am. If only I was a different person. Oh, woe is me.
Oh, speaking of, we forgot something for the last episode. I want to say it was Maeda. I'm okay that he's a motorcycle, but if he turns into something like a rice cooker, do I really have to call him my friend anymore?
The one thing I thought about that joke is like that could be taken like offensive to someone today.
Yes.
No, it's just I could the subtext of it all.
Yes.
And I know I remember some of the episodes later on have like a gag or something where it's just like, No, it's just like, does it age well? Does it not? It's just a discussion to be had.
It's very early 2000s humor.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, I mean that's the thing you have to take into consideration watching that show. So they get the OS system CD from Mechazawa's little brother, who just happens to be there with the CD. Okay. And then as they're about to take apart Mechazawa, Maeda shows up in the background, just out of the blue. And the show doesn't acknowledge this until way later. And they go through this whole... No, yeah, of course. No, explaining things. No.
Can't have
Never. So they set it all back up, and then they're like, wait a minute. That sounds kind of crummy, that if we put in this new system, all his old data will be deleted. And then Kamiyama's just like, but that's what he said. He wanted to be a different person. And they're like, of course.
Yes.
And we don't see what happens after that. We just, they put it in, and it's like, and great, now we can connect to the internet. And it's like, but that wasn't the plan originally. And they're sitting down, I guess, somewhere outside, and then they realize, Maeda, how long have you been there? Like the whole time.
I said in our group chat that if this show is ever on the rails, it's completely off now.
There's no rails to speak of.
There was a point, like the next part that comes up, where all of a sudden, I can't remember the character's name now, the guy who had the nightmare about the meat earlier.
Oh yeah, Hakuto.
Where he was all of a sudden a seal. And I swore, I'm like, are we just turning him into a seal? Like, and it wouldn't even have shocked me. And then all of a sudden it became a dream. I was like, they somehow didn't do the thing I was expecting. I was expecting him for just no apparent reason to just be a seal. And it would have matched the tone of the show.
Yep.
And then they're like, psych! Oh, no. And then, they're like, oh, no. Like, I'm a seal. So what did I do last night? Well, I ate a meal, and then I watched some TV. It's hard to think straight in this chaotic situation. So I got to tell everyone, bark, bark, bark.
Bark.
She was like, be quiet, you seal. And then it's like, Hakuto comes back, and they're like, oh, Hakuto in a red shirt. And then when you think it's like, oh, what happened? Is it like the aliens or something that's here? No. And then they try to like wrap around again to the Hayashida and the butler being related. And then they're just like, no, we're still not. It's just been a while since we've seen each other. Yeah, I would like something to eat. I haven't eaten anything since this morning.
It is morning.
Oh yeah. Hayashida showed up there just to talk to them about something. He's like Hakuto, something important happened. You. Like any chance the writer who wants to have a story is trying to get a plot going. The other writer who makes all the gags and the shit posts pushes him out of the way to tell him, like, no, we're doing gags.
Can't be having that. Just can't be having that.
No, heaven forbid. And then it ends on like, oh yeah, I remember what's going to happen. And stay tuned next time.
So, no, not even next time. You'll learn at the end of the show.
show.
There's 5 episodes left.
Are we even going to find out? I highly doubt
Probably
it.
not.
No. Why? Why would we? This freaking show. I think it breaks us every time we try to make sense of it. Like, it's great and I love it. It's like, it's just one of those shows that you can binge, like a Netflix kind of thing.
No,
it's just
hard.
It's hard because, like, after a while you get a little tired of the shenanigans, but then it's like, but I love the shenanigans.
Yeah.
But too
I don't
much
know if it's ever actually aired on Adult Swim, but it's like it's like tailor-made for that audience.
This is the definition of Adult Swim. Like
Adult Swim should have. I mean,
I don't understand how they didn't, if I'm being perfectly honest.
They had Milk Chan show, which was also just kind of a shitpost show back in the day, but for some reason they couldn't get Azumanga Daioh or Cromartie High School for reasons. Or maybe it was on like that
over here.
Or maybe it was on that like that doomed anime channel that was trying to be like all anime all the time, and then I think it just died within like a month. I forgot what it was called, but and it wasn't like when, it wasn't
I think it was 80 ADV because I remember they were a big dubbing company in the early 2000s, but then they dissolved.
Well, it's like back then you had like Central Park Media, Urban Vision, ADV, Funimation, Geneon. So it's like it would have worked. It would have made sense, but yeah, it's like anime wasn't at that point yet, or still wasn't at that point, even if it was becoming slowly more accessible and accepted among media people. So
no, this would have killed over here. This was essentially a Saturday Night Live style skit show, but it always had the same characters.
Now I kind of want to see a Saturday Night Live anime or like what they would come up with.
I can't think of much that's closer than this because this is just stupid shit every other episode, and it just happens to have the same characters every time.
Yeah. No, fun episode. It's weird how they're trying to like build up so much and then just pull the rug out from under you. But, still enjoying it.
It is. I am too. All right. Let's get out of here. Cameron, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Cam's Eye View. I run a website called camseyeview.biz where I review animated films and shows from around the world called The Other Side of Animation. I am the co-host of the Renegade Animation Podcast on renegadepopculture.com. I also have a Patreon at patreon.com/camseyeview, and that's where you can find me.
All right. Mike, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Captain K42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Twitter at Ren Pop Culture. You can also find us on YouTube, on Podchaser, on the Banana Meter. Listen to all of our podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. You can escape, so do we.
Absolutely, and you can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero, mostly Twitch and YouTube. And until next time, we will see you all later.